And the third one, he was gone. That's how he died. And I was still holding him. And then I looked at my mother. Oh, I said to her, "Swadekile mama tata." You know. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Life with SADAG. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for the support, and if you are new, please do subscribe and join the family. As you see from the title of the video, I'll be sharing my personal story on how I lost my dad, how he died on my hands. I'm doing this video because we've lost our loved ones, our sisters, our brothers, our mothers, fathers, siblings, colleagues, especially between this year and last year. I'm doing this video to bring hope that you are not alone. I'm doing this video to say, let's hold each other's hands and walk this journey together, because this healing journey, it's not a short journey, it's not an ending journey. You know, it's a journey, it's not a destination, and we need to embrace it. So my story happened in 2012, started rather in 2012, because I'm still on a healing journey. My story started in 2012. 2012, my dad fell sick. When he fell sick, went to the clinic, they gave him his meds. I think a week later, one evening, we're already in bed. One evening, he came from his bedroom running. He ran to the kitchen door, opened it, and he was holding the burglar bar, you know, the security gate. He was holding it, complaining about heat, saying it's hot, he's feeling hot. And my mom ran to him. She was holding him. She couldn't hold him anymore because it was heavy, and she asked me to hold him, and I did hold him. I was 24, 2012. I was 24 years. I was holding him. As I was holding him, so everything happened so fast. As I was holding him, and we were busy praying for him as well. And my dad was busy saying, "Guti, bring the car, take me to the hospital." You know, as I was saying that, we were busy praying, you know, trying to do whatever. He pooped on himself. I told my mom, and I remembered, I've once heard, when somebody poops on themselves, they'll be there. It's because they're dying, they're about to die. I told my mom, and as I was still processing that, my dad just pooped. Does it mean he's dying right now? Because obviously the state that he was in, it was bad. You know, it was bad. I was like, does it mean he's dying right now? And he took 3 deep breaths, and he went like, and the third one, he was gone. That's how he died. And I was still holding him. And then I looked at my mother. Oh, I said to her, "Swadekile mama tata." You know. And I had to take him to the couch, but obviously he was also heavy for me. You know, I kind of like pulled him. I pulled him to the couch, and I laid him there. His eyes were still open. I closed his eyes, took a blanket and covered him. And after that, we started calling people, family members, and our funeral parlor to come and fetch him so they can take him to the mortuary. They came, fetched him. As they took him, so they came with this plastic thing, it's like a bag, where they put in, as they were putting my dad in that thing. Okay, so they said all the children must go to their bedrooms, we mustn't see what was happening. And for me, I did not understand, because I mean, he died in my hands, right? But they said we should stay in the bed, in the bedrooms. But I did, I was peeping through, I opened small now to see my dad. I don't want to lie. When all that was happening, I was like, he might wake up. As they were putting him in that plastic bag, so I was in the bedroom, and as I was looking, I jumped out. I said, please double check, he might be alive, maybe he's not dead. They pushed me inside. They said, no, he is dead. Oh. Anyway, then they took him to the mortuary. So in Cape Town, community members, when there's someone who dies, community members, they would every day, like around 7 o'clock, they would come and give prayer, more like a condolence prayers every day, sharing the word of God, encouraging you guys, and I even shared, what I'm trying to say is, I never cried for my dad. I was strong. I was the one who was making sure everything was going accordingly. I was the one who was going to the funeral parlor, doing this, doing that. I was the strongest. I was actually the one comforting my siblings. I was the one comforting other people, because I'm also known as the strong person. I was the kapatia. And we then went to bury him in where he comes from. Even when we got there, still I wasn't crying. I was doing up and down, and making sure everything is in order, food, this, that, to a point that when we went to bury my dad, I don't know who, but they dished for me. Because I was so busy up and down, making sure everything's okay, they dished for me. When they dished for me, I didn't ask anybody to dish for me. They dished for me, and my cousin Musisa, who came with us to bury my dad, said to me, Wena, did you ask anyone to dish food for you? I'm like, no. Then don't eat that food. I didn't eat that food. We gave it to a dog. And that dog died immediately. The food that was meant for me, But anyway, we buried my dad. And then after burying my dad, we left my mom. And then I had to go back home, which is Cape Town. I had to go back to Cape Town because I was working. I had to go back to Cape Town. My mom was left behind to mourn my dad. I stayed in Cape Town, still strong. But after everything, that's when everything started to hit so hard that I used to walk on the streets talking to myself. I started losing my mind. After everything, burying my dad, I started losing my mind. People saw me talking to myself, and they would go to my mom and say to my mom, Haibo, we saw Unomsa on the street. She was talking to herself, And then that's when I realized, gee, I need help, because I knew my dad's passing was only now dealing with me. I was only now realizing that my dad is really no more. And that's when it was really hitting hard. I realized, I need help. I really need help. I can't be walking around talking to myself. And then, remember, I didn't have anyone to talk to because I was the strong one. I was the one people were talking to because, I offered. Do you understand? I was the comforter. I was comforting them. And then that's when I booked sessions with my psychiatrist. Then we booked sessions and I started getting better. And then I remember a friend of mine from Swaziland came to Cape Town. I went with her in one of my sessions. So my psychiatrist asked her, Uguti, what do you think of this whole thing? And my friend says to her, I told her to cry, she'll be okay. We've also lost people, we cried, we are okay now. She's wasting money, I don't know why she's here to you. I was crying, but after what she said, I just laughed. I laughed because for me it was so funny. Shame, the poor lady looked at her, I was like, I laughed. I realized, Guti, yazi abantu, they take a mental illness, mental issues very light, because she felt too good to me crying, I'll be fine. Of course, I did cry. I started crying, but it got worse to a point where now I was starting to speak to myself. Do you understand? I would walk around speaking to myself as if I was speaking to somebody. Do you understand? It got worse where if I see somebody with my dad's structure, I would run, like literally I would run to them thinking it's my dad. Because I was in denial that my dad was gone. And then I started that journey, and then with my psychiatrist I started my sessions, and then I finished, which I got a bit better. But what I can tell you, it's a long journey. This happened in 2012, so in 2012, even till this day, I'm still not okay with my dad's passing. I've lost some people, family members, but it does not hit the same way my dad's passing hit me. I don't know, maybe because he died on my hands or what, but even this day, whenever I think about him, I still cry. I still cry, and even my husband knows. Whenever I think about him, I'll just cry and I'll tell him, Guti, I just miss my dad. I'll just miss him. I'll just miss him out of nowhere. I'll just miss him, and I would go to his pictures and look at them and be like, Dad, why did you die? And I feel, Guti, my dad died before I could do so much for him, and at times I'm like, how I wish my dad was here to see the woman that I've become. My dad was my cheerleader. My dad, man, my dad raised my kids. I miss him, guys. Even as I'm doing this video, I miss my dad. I miss him so. That's why I said I'm doing this to somebody out there to know you're not alone. It's a journey. It's a long one, but we need to embrace it. It's not easy. It's not easy. I don't want to lie. As strong as people might think I am, or as strong as I am, I also break. And I'm allowed because I'm human. But I thank God for Him, because if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be here. That's where I get my strength from, to keeping on. That's why God is there, for our strength, And I do believe that one day I'll talk about my dad. I will think about him and not cry. But for now, I still cry, and it's okay. I'm allowed. I'm human. You must cry, as long as you don't hurt yourself. Speak to somebody. Don't bottle it in. I know a lot of people, when they lose their loved ones, they would, opt in drugs, in alcohol, in whatever. They start doing all these things. I don't judge them, but I'm saying, don't destroy your future. Because you still have your own future that you need to, like I said earlier, it's a journey, not a destination. It's a journey that I'm still walking. From 2012, I'm still walking that healing journey. You need people that will walk that journey with you. You need people that will understand when you're saying, I miss whoever. That will understand, people that are not gonna shut you up to say, but that person passed away long ago. You need people that will support you, And whoever that is watching, that has lost a loved one, a friend, whoever, like I said, is get those people to walk this journey with you, instead of you resorting into things that will destroy your future, like alcohol. And I know it's tempting, because you want to numb the pain, because the pain can be too much. The pain can be too much. You wanna try and forget, but you forget when you are drunk or you are high on drugs. But when you're sober, it will come back. So that's not a solution. A solution is for you to seek help. A solution is for you to surround yourself with people that will support you. And you talk about it. Don't keep it in. Talk about it. Talk about it. Be around people who understands you. And to people who are supporting us, or supporting people who have lost loved ones, you don't even have to say much. Just say, I'm here for you. Allow them to speak to you. Your job is not for you to make us feel better or to heal us. Your job is just for you to be there, to support us, to let us know, Guti, you are there for us. You are supporting us. You understand what we are going through. So there are 5 stages of grief that I've written them down, because I'm not a psychiatrist or psychologist. I've written them down, and I'm also going to be sharing my experience with each of them. The first one is denial. So basically, when you are in the denial stage, it's when you are in denial that you'll never see this person, you know. So when you're in denial, it's when you're in denial that you'll never see this person. So in denial, it's more like your coping mechanism. Like with me, as much as I saw my dad, but it never really dawned on me that it's really no more. Do you understand? I didn't want to believe it is no more. That is why for me, I was the strongest. You know, I was doing everything because I was in denial. And then the second one is anger. You know, you'll be lashing at people. You'll be having this anger towards people. You'll just have anger. And then the third one, it's bargaining. So bargaining, it's you may find yourself creating a lot of what ifs statements. Like with me, I do that a lot. I did that a lot. I still do it even at time. Those what ifs. So at that time, I was like, what if he's not dead? What if I had prayed harder? You know, I tend to blame myself. My prayer, maybe God did not hear my prayer because I was not in the right standing with Him. So bargaining, it's that what if we had done this? What if, and what is the what if statements you make. That's the bargaining stage. And then the fourth one is depression. Depression, it's now when you're depressed, of course. Depression. So for me, I got depressed. I was in this dark space where I felt like I was alone, where now I realized my dad was indeed no more. My dad was no more. He had passed. That's when, and my depression was so severe that I started talking to myself. That's when I went to seek for help because I already had 2 kids to look after. And my dad loved my kids so dearly. Like I said, he raised those kids. Like he literally raised them, you know. He would change them nappies. He looked after them. Oh, even my daughter, she was young. But even my daughter at times, my mom would tell me, Muguti, my daughter would just cry and say, I miss granddad. That's how close they were. That's how close we were with my dad. So my dad loved swearing. He would swear, hey, what, you know, vulgar that I can't, say right here. I even miss those things about him. At times, when we're chilling with my family, I'll be like, I even miss him swearing at me. I even miss him doing this. I miss him doing that. So that was the fourth one, depression. And then the fifth one is acceptance. So acceptance is when you now have accepted that this person is gone, he's no more, she's no more, they're no longer coming back. But acceptance doesn't mean you don't care. With me, what I've learned with these stages is that when you go through these stages, it's not like you go through denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance, and you are done. It's like a wheel. you go over and over. But obviously we're not the same. For another person is different, for the other is different. But what you need to know, Guti, these are the stages. It doesn't mean when you go through the stages you are done, you will be completely healed. You can still go back to any other stage. You can go to bargaining, you can go to depression. They change over and over. It's not like, oh, I've accepted, oh, I'm healed, I'm done. No, it doesn't work like that. Here I am, I'm still on that healing journey. Like I said, it's not easy, but trusting God, and accepting the journey as well. I will be okay. I've accepted, but the pain of losing somebody, it never goes away. And at times you'll have a lot of unanswered questions, especially with my dad. At least he got sick, but he died like so quick. I mean, he was sick, then in 2 weeks of taking medication, I mean, he dies. But at least he got sick. There are people where their family, they never got sick. You understand? I feel those people, their pain, their pain is more. Not that when you lose somebody, this pain is, it's better or it's more than the other one. But I feel good if your person dies without being sick, you get to have a lot of questions, unanswered questions, that you feel like, what happened? How I wish I would know this. How I wish I would know this. And I feel those questions are the reason that might also make your journey more longer than the other, because our circumstances are not the same. We need to embrace our journeys. We need to walk our journeys. And we need people to walk these journeys with us without judging us, without shutting us out. Support people. Don't ask them questions. Don't expect people to be okay because it had happened in so many years. Even if somebody was sick, if somebody does not heal from losing a loved one, guys, support them. The reason why I'm emphasizing this is because my friend did not understand why I was depressed. My friend did not understand after so long, after a month of my dad being sick, I was seeing a psychiatrist. She felt good I was wasting money. She wanted me to give the money to her rather than wasting it on a psychiatrist, because she felt good I was supposed to cry and be okay. It does not work like that. You can't cry. You can't cry off the pain in a go. It's a journey. It's a journey, and you need people that understand you. You surround yourself with people that will understand you and that will support you. And let me know if you've ever lost a loved one and how you've dealt with it and how you are still dealing with. Let's share, and I'd like to learn from you guys as well. This channel is for all of us. I also want to learn from you guys. Share your healing journey on the comment section below. I really love to hear from you guys. And that's it from me. Thank you for watching. Goodbye and God bless. Don't forget to subscribe.